Alright guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to hang out with me here on my channel. So you guys know in my last few videos of working on the Integra, getting it back together and whatnot, that kid Giovanni has been helping me. Well, he's run into some issues of his own with his Civic. He blew his head gasket and he's trying to change it out. He's not really confident in himself, and I offered to give him a hand, so he just called me just for some advice on a few parts of it. So I got nothing going on today because, like I said, in my last video, I'm broke right now, waiting to get paid because I just did my registration and stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna go over to his place and help him out. Alright, so got over here to Giovanni's house, and he's already got half of this taken apart, so makes it a little bit easier. We're going to leave the intake manifold on, just take the exhaust manifold off. So he had to special order the gasket, because this is the B7 economy motor or whatever, so it won't be here for like a day. So we're at least going to pull the head up. It's obviously milky in the valve cover, so we're just going to end up pulling the head up just to inspect and make sure there's no cracks or warpage. I know usually with warpage you can't really see it unless you're like a machine shop, because it's hard to see something like that. So yeah, we're just going to investigate it and then just set it back down, and then once he gets his gasket we can come back and we can just slap it in. It'll be pretty easy. So I'm going to get it set at top dead center, show him how to do that, and then we're going to, yeah, I mean there's really not much work to do. He already got half of it off. It's just valve cover, few hoses, fuel lines, and 10 head studs. So, be easy.
It's pretty.
It's really raunchy. Like, I don't even want to touch that. Like,
dude, what's under the hood?
that.
You don't want to know.
So we're gonna limp the car over to my house instead, because I don't want to work in the parking lot, and I got all the tools. We got to jack the car up and whatnot, so it'll be a lot easier there. So I don't want to leave him totally stranded with a ripped apart car out here, because I mean somebody could mess with it, weather, blah blah. Whereas if we do it at the house, I can cover it up. I got all my tools and stuff, like I said, and it'll just be a lot easier. So we're gonna put the valve cover back on, just limp it over to the house, and be good. Just like that, good to go. So he's gonna pour some water in it, and we'll limp it over. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Hakuna Matata.
Just leave that one there.
Alright, so we just got the car here. We already got it jacked up. I got the valve cover off. I'm starting to get the exhaust manifold studs off, and then probably gonna make a run to Walmart to get some brake cleaner. Let this cool down a little bit. But yeah, I gotta take the motor mount off or whatever, get the timing cover off, and blah blah. Set it top dead center. You know, the whole ordeal. So I'll just kind of keep you guys updated and walk you through a few things here and there. This isn't like an instructional video by any means. This is more or less just hanging out with us and trying to fix this car. So we got our, well, I'm still waiting for it to cool down. So in the meantime, we ripped. His car hasn't had AC since he got it. It's just the components were still there, the compressor was shot, and blah blah blah. So he doesn't need it right now. So I'm currently ripping everything out. We're keeping the lines intact. So if and when he puts AC back in, he has good lines. They're all good. There's no cracks. There's nothing. Just compressor and O-rings and condenser, and he'll be good to go if and when that time comes. But in the meantime, yeah, getting that all out, and kind of just while we're waiting for this to cool down, I'm finding things that are kind of damaged or missing or broken, and either fixing them or taking them off. So also cleaning it up. So right now just sprayed some purple power in here, and I'm trying to rinse it all off. So I gotta hook up the pressure washer, but yeah, it'll clean up pretty good because the paint on this car is still in pretty good shape. So it's just freaking dirt nasty, and just got this one line left, but I'll wait till I hose this off first to take that off so I don't spray any inside. But coming along pretty smoothly. Should go pretty quick, honestly. I mean, head gaskets aren't the most difficult thing in the world. This is actually my first time doing just a head gasket, but it's a single cam, and those are super easy to work on, so makes it easy. finally got some color back in here, boys.
Indeed.
It's looking good already.
Is it too late, my dear friend?
Another update. Everything is pretty much off. He's taking the downpipe off, or whatever you want to call it, and then we're gonna pull the exhaust manifold off, and then just gotta put it at top dead center, and it's gonna come off. Just loosen the head bolts. Like I said, he's not gonna have a gasket till the morning, so we're just gonna loosen it up, make sure it's ready to come off, and save the rest for the morning, and pick up from there. But yeah, while we're in here, I'm gonna clean up a few other things. We're running out of daylight though, because it's cloudy, and it's already like 4 something, maybe going on 5. So it's 5:05. So yeah, so we're just gonna I guess finish this up in the morning. Next day, so we just went and picked up all the fluids. It's already like 11:30ish going on, so head is ready to come off, loosened everything up. Head studs are just gotta pull them up, they're all loose and whatnot, and pull the head off, scrape the gasket off, which is gonna be kind of the risky part. I don't like doing that, and everything's good. So we just spent $100 in fluids and parts. Got the new head gasket right up here. Just went with a cheapy AutoZone Felpro for now, but I mean, whatever. He plans on B-swapping in a few months anyway, so we just need to get him by. Picked up a new vacuum line for the PCV valve and a new PCV valve itself because his was totally gunked up, and new head studs because obviously you have to change those. So we're ready to get back at this, so I'm gonna just go back to time-lapsing because I'm gonna be playing music and I don't want to get copyright infringed, so enjoy.
My dear friend, where have you been? Where have you gone? Where did you win? Someone that
Alright, so this is kind of what we're working with right now. It's kind of hard to see because it's cloudy today and the white balance is just trash, so bear with me. But I got most of the gasket material off, I think. But you can see inside, like, I forget what this part's called. Forgive me, I'm a retard. But it's all rusted. Obviously, the owner before, Giovanni here, has definitely, in this car's many years of usage, has had water, just straight water in here, because I know if you're using straight coolant stuff, or like your proper mixture, this amount of rust isn't pretty normal, I would assume. But yeah, so it's kind of rusty in there, but that's not the big deal. This is just temporary as is, blah, blah. You know the whole deal. We've schmealed it a few times, but we're trying to clean this all off. So use a razor blade, a brand new one, to scrape most of the chunks of material off, and now I'm gonna use a shop vac and try and pull some of this water out and all the debris and whatnot, and then use a Scotch-Brite pad and some brake cleaner and acetone or paint thinner or something to try and get the rest of this off. And then same with the head. And if you guys have never seen an 8 valve before, here you go. It's literally like 8 valves, and it's really trippy looking. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And yeah, so we're working on he's doing that, and then I'm doing the block. So making pretty good progress, just trying to make sure it's as clean as possible. The car never actually really overheated on him. So as soon as the temp started climbing, he'd always shut it off, top it off with water, and wait it out. So the way he found out it was blown in the first place is he just having to check his oil like he did every day, and one day it just started getting really milky after he started using a lot more water. So I'm not gonna worry about trying to deck the head or anything, and if you guys complain about it, I'm gonna deck you in the nuts. But yeah, we'll be fine. Like I said, just temporary. Gotta level it out and then look through the holes.
Oh, you want to look up top?
It's not pressed down yet,
But it's on.
it's pretty lined up over here.
It's lined up over here.
Just use a flashlight to double check. So we made sure, good new head studs, so we got these at O'Reilly's. And you have to torque these in a sequence, so I have to look up the torque sequence really quick, but I know it ends up being like the third sequence being 47 or 49 foot-pounds. So it'll probably be something like 17, then like 33, and then 49, something like that. So yeah, and then you have to do not a cross sequence, but there is a torque sequence. Usually it's from the inside working your way out, so it's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 type thing, or vice versa. So I will I'll find the diagram, so don't you guys worry. But yeah, just dropping these head studs in. Cleaned up all the ports as best we could. Put a little bit of Honda Bond around the edge of the head gasket to hopefully create a good seal for the bit of gouging that is in the head from being eaten away at from rust and stuff. So Really hoping this works. All right, so looking it up right now, it's showing a 2-step. I'm sorry, the last time I did this, I used ARP studs, and usually you add a 3rd step to the torque sequence. So it's 22 foot-pounds for the first one and 47 to finish it off. And this sequence, yeah, I know the sequence. It won't look like it over here. So take my word for it. So yeah, let's just cross fingers. Hope for the best. Hope doesn't happen to him what happened to me when I did my V20 VTEC and pull some threads out the block. But they all threaded in by hand, just perfectly smooth. So I think we'll be good. So hoping for the best.
That is the cringiest thing to watch, man.
It is. So we just torqued it. Some of them, all the outside ones clicked perfectly normal, but the inside ones just kind of, I don't know, they just kind of felt weird. They didn't feel like they were stripping, but they just, I don't know, just didn't make a very assuring clicking sound. They were kind of like,
It wasn't pleasant.
yeah, I don't know. So I triple checked everything, so we're gonna just kind of have to send it and hope for the best again. Yeah. Just doing the final touches here. We got everything hooked back up. Just adding the coolant. We already filled it with oil. So it's pretty much time to just cross our fingers and hope all is well. Got the exhaust manifold hooked up. Timing is all set. Double check that. Spark plug wires. PCV valve, we kind of had to relocate a little bit because, yeah, issues with that little hole. This new valve doesn't really want to fit in that hole, so whatever. Everything's plugged in, hooked up, and I gotta do the throttle cable quick, but other than that, it's all gonna be good. All right, so I think it's pretty much time. Anxiety is high.
Anxiety is high.
So everything is hooked up. It is totally full with fluids. Actually, we should check the oil one more time now that's on level ground.
You know what?
It's freaking chilly out here. I know you guys that are everywhere except for Californians are gonna be like, oh, you're a pansy. But you know, it's like 50 degrees today, and like it's maybe even less because it's been cloudy all day. So I don't know. It's to the point where my joints are just like, bleh, and freaking toes is cold and complaining. Oh, it actually looks like it's pretty full. All right, well, let's fire this hoe up.
Is that full? Or is that, I can barely see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just a hair under the full line, so yeah, that's good.
Okay, perfect.
Prime it up.
Let's get some fuel for the system, man.
So far, so good. Kick it back and prime it one more time. And once more. Send it.
Send it.
Full send.
Send.
All right, let's try it. Give her the beans.
Get all the beans.
Took a little bit to crank, but it sounds pretty quiet. No. So
I think you nailed that.
let's let it warm up a little bit and keep an eye on it. So it seems to be good so far. We're still waiting for it to warm up. Cooling fan has not turned on yet, and the lower hose is still kind of cold. The exhaust, we can't really tell. It's dispersing really quick, and there's definitely like fluid in here, but it's definitely like condensation. But I can't tell if it's condensation just from sitting here overnight and it's pretty chilly today, or if it's condensation because of the failed head gasket or like the gouges or whatever in the head. So probably just gonna spin around the block and try and get this to bleed here. Give it a few more minutes to open the thermostat up and stuff, and hope for the best. Cause yeah, I don't know. It's dispersing really quick, so I'm thinking it's just condensation. So far, so good. Temp gauge hasn't overheated yet. I mean, obviously it's still warming up, but...
I think the thermostat's may have opened. I'm not sure though.
The fans kick on?
No, never mind.
Alright, so I think it's pretty much burped. He's gonna take it around the block here in a moment. It is building up a pretty good amount of condensation at the tip of the pipe, even though it's been warmed up for a few minutes now. So I'm thinking that could be excessive blow by or whatever, so I don't know. I guess we'll just gonna have to find out. It's not overheating in the slightest, which is still a good sign. And the cooling system, or when we were trying to burp it, it just, lots of little bubbles. It didn't look frothy or foamy like combustion gas was in, or like gas was in there from like the combustion cycle or whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell. So just keep an eye on it, I suppose.
Is it burped up?
Should be good.
Should be good.
I guess drive it around, see what it does.